Well, as we've already said, this is only applicable to Class 7 and Class 5 vehicles, and we've got some examples over here if we move across.
So what are the criteria?
Well, this only applies to Class 5 and 7s, but if the tyre size is not marked on at least one of the sidewalls, then that's a reason for ejection.
What if there's no speed rating, load index or ply rating shown?
Well, that's not a reason for ejection. And if there was no ply rating or load index shown, then we'd assume this tyre to be the lowest possible for this tyre size.
And we could look that up in the tables?
Yes, we can. So if we go and sit down, we can do that. So all we'd need to do is to find the corresponding tyre size and look across the table to see the maximum axle load for single fitment and twin fitment.
OK, so that tyre we were just looking at was a 195R 14C, so...
Yeah, so if we find that on there, 19514C, so we can see that's suitable for a maximum of 1,700 kilograms for single fitment and 3210 for twin fitment.
OK, that's very easy. How do we know what the vehicle's maximum axle loading is?
Oh, that's quite straightforward. We have a look on the manufacturer's plate, which is generally located under the bonnet or maybe on the door pillar.
So in this example, the tyres are clearly adequate for the maximum axle weights?
Yeah, dead right. But one thing we'd have to consider is to look out for is whether there's a ministry plate fitted. They're not that common on Class 7 vehicles now, but we may come across one.
And if a ministry plate is fitted, the tester must use these weights instead?
Yeah, if the ministry plate's fitted, it takes precedence over the manufacturer's plate because the vehicle could have been down-plated from its original specification.
So having checked the axle weights on the manufacturer's or ministry plate and looked up the tables in the manual, obviously the vehicle would fail if the ply rating was inadequate for the maximum permitted laden weight for the axle to which the tyres are fitted.
Spot on, Robert. Well done. Yeah, but what we'd have to be careful of, if we were testing a pre-1968 vehicle that's not required to be fitted with a manufacturer's plate, if there was not a ministry plate, then we would have to assume that the load capacity of the tyres is suitable, unless we had indisputable evidence to the contrary.
So what about speed ratings?
Yeah, we need to check the speed rating on all the tyres fitted to the vehicle, and there's a diagram in the manual that will help us with that.
So what are the criteria?
Well, generally a tyre will fail if it's marked with a speed rating lower than L. Now, that's with the exception of H. That denotes a high-speed tyre. But there are other considerations for Class 5 vehicles.
Is that to do with restricted speed vehicles?
Yes, it is, yeah. A restricted speed vehicle will only fail if it has a tyre fitted with a speed rating lower than F.
So how does a tester identify a restricted speed Class 5?
Oh, well, that's dead easy. A restricted speed vehicle is one that's displaying a 50 plate on the back.
Well, that's straightforward enough, but there are some other issues with Class 5s, aren't there?
Yes, there are. Unless it's a restricted speed vehicle, they must be fitted with tyres that are suitable for 70 mile an hour, which means an L rating or greater. But tyres with a rating of J or K can also be suitable for up to 70 mile an hour.
Really? How does that work?
Well, the increase in nominated speed rating results in a reduction of load carrying capacity. Less weight, more speed.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah, a tyre displaying a J speed rating, which is suitable for 62 mile an hour, can be used at 70 mile an hour with a load carrying reduction of 7%.
And what about a tyre displaying a K speed rating?
Well, a K speed rating would be suitable for a maximum speed of 68 mile an hour, so the load carrying capacity would only need to be reduced by 3%.
That all sounds a bit complicated.
Yeah, but fortunately it doesn't affect a great number of vehicles these days, and all the information's in the inspection manual and on the VTS device.